Hello everyone, and thanks for stopping by to Scrap and Craft with Terry. Today we're going to make some little, what I call Jazzy Notepads. I like to periodically put little notepads in with stuff, so I thought we would just jazz them up a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you like my video, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. Now all I did was, let me see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sheets of paper, because they're just little notepads that you can like pull apart or just write on and leave them together. So all I did was cut them different widths and lengths and just kind of staggered them into the pile, and then I just glued them together. And then we're going to add them into a little cover. So before I do that, I just want to go ahead and round my corners, and I'll tell you how long this cover is. This one is about 6 3/4 by 3, and you can make them whatever size you want. I'm going to do 3 different sizes, and I did my flap about 1 3/8, and you can do the flap however long you want also. So I just did this so they fit inside with a little bit of border around them. Now, I'm going to use a piece of this coffee dyed paper, which I'm also going to round the bottom corners. And then I want to just ink around this one. I inked, and I have to ink around my cover. I'm going to use this piece. I'm going to glue it onto the cover so there's extra writing space under there also. Now these, you could glue them into your journals or whatever you're putting it in, or you can leave it free floating and paper clip it in or stick it in a pocket. Now I'm not going to put these clear up here, because I'm just going to add some, lace up here at the top to cover over the top of the notepads. So the lace would go up in here, and then that also brings the notepad down just a little bit. But first I'm going to glue this in. So this will be down here, and then we can let our notepad fall wherever. I just thought this would make some cute little notepads with a little extra thing, because generally when you do these little notepads, you're just using scraps anyway. So this would be another good way of using up your scraps. If you have scraps for your cover and scraps for your little note paper. That should have been over a little bit farther. Something like that. And then you can decorate them however you choose to. And then I'm just going to barely set this above this paper, so this also looks like another piece of paper hanging under there. And then we want to make for sure that you're inside your cover. And I'm only going to glue it down at the very top. Now probably another thing that you could do is put this paper pad on a little hinge where you would be able to completely fold it up and right on the back, but you might also be able to do that anyway. I didn't think about that until just now. A little bit of glue there, but I'm not going to wipe it off because I have to put my lace up there. But these will fold up quite a ways. You might be able to fold them up and crease them. Then I'm just going to glue my lace across here, just kind of evening it up a little bit. So I kind of get this in the center. So I'm just going to glue back here and on the very top part of the notepad. And if you didn't want lace on this part here, you don't have to have lace on here. You could trim it with whatever you wanted. And then you want to make sure you don't go over this score line because you want this to fold down nicely. And then we're just going to trim this off. And trim this off. And then we're going to have something tied around the top here. So let's see, for a minute, I'm going to just anchor this down a little bit while I trim this out. And this is just a piece of leftovers. So I just inked around it. Oh, you know what? I didn't ink around my notepad. I got in such a hurry, I just didn't do it. Which could be another reason why I like to ink beforehand, but I had to cut my corners. So, and I figured I would leave a little something for you to see. And then we'll just fold this down, ink here. If you're going to glue it in, you won't have to ink that part at all. Let me see if I can put just a little bit of ink up here, just so when it's open you can see it. Now I'm not going to decorate the inside of this now, but you can also do that and make that fancy, because we're going to be able to open this so we can write up higher on our paper. There we go. Close that up. All right, so now I just went ahead and inked around this, and this just has a very faint scripture in the back with a little design. So my cover paper, my cover was just a cutoff. And it's just a piece of lightweight card. Then we're going to have Dream and a little butterfly up here. Let me see, how do I want this? I think I want the dream to barely hang off the edge of the background paper. And I inked around these lightly. So So I think I want it something like that. And we're going to put this little butterfly on there. Let me bring him down just a little bit. Then we're going to go down here to this part. I should have done this first, and I kind of forgot. I'm going to have a little butterfly down here just to decorate the bottom page. And you can just stamp a design on it or glue a piece on, and you don't have to put anything there if you don't want. And we'll just give him his little antennas. So then we have this, and these will fold back. This here is a piece of, I have a tablet, and it is index cards. And these are a little bit heavier than a regular index card. So see, these papers fold up. This is a piece of gray paper that I've been using for backgrounds lately. This is just a piece of a paper bag. And this come out of a little notepad thing. And then you have this to write on. So as I was saying, you can fold them back and crease them, and you can still write on the back. So we'll just fold that back down a little bit so it stays there. And then we're just going to use some of this twine to tie around the top as our closure. Now you can use whatever you want. You don't have to just use twine. And I'm going to run a little bead of glue right across the back here, like about in the center. And I probably should put this paper underneath it so I don't glue it to my table. Then we'll see. Let me just cut some of this off. We'll see if I can tie a bow. I might have cut it too short. Where did it go? There it is. Okay, so I probably should have cut that just a little bit longer. So you'll have your tails hanging down there or willy-nilly wherever they're gonna go. And that'll be our closure. I might rework on this, make this one just a little bit longer. So that, and if you wanted to put tape or paper or something across the back to cover that up, you could do that also. So that's our first one. Then we have another one here. And I have these all inked. So this one is about 7 1/8 by 3 and almost 3 1/4. And then my flap is just, it's about 1 3/8, give or take. And this is just some of that cardstock that I've been using. This is a little bit heavier, and I just score where I think I want my flap to go. So we're going to go ahead and glue this one down. Just leaving that little bit of border around it. Figured I would make 3 different color backgrounds. The papers are pretty much all the same, and the papers can be, but you can just see a variety of what the different color backgrounds are. So this is just a different color paper bag, and then we have the gray background, and that's what the main part of that paper pad looks like that come from. So we're just going to lay them down in there where we just have a little bit of border here. Just making sure we don't go over our outside. So again, I should have put my little design on the bottom before I put this on. We're going to put a little mushroom on. I haven't used mushrooms on anything for quite a while. I don't know why, because I really like the mushrooms. So we're going to have this little mushroom down here. So we'll go ahead and glue that on. So how's everyone doing today? Did everyone have a nice weekend? I'll just set that guy down there. Okay, now we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to use the same lace on all 3 of them. Again, I'll just kind of even it out up here. Make sure you don't go over your score mark. Same way with this one. Our papers still fold up. This one is a little bit stiffer, but all you have to do is kind of crease them and then fold them back down, and then when you fold this over and tie it, or however your closure is, then that'll hold your papers down again. So now we're going to go ahead and decorate the top. And once you get your stuff all cut out and everything, it really doesn't take long to put them together. I'm just going to put a little piece of book page up here. And we're going to have a mushroom over here. And I thought this cute little button with the embroidery floss would look kind of cute on the side. It'll be something different. Not knowing if that'll get in the way of the tie, but we'll see. And if it does, you can always use Velcro under here and Velcro it shut. So if the tie doesn't work on this, then that's probably what I will do. Or, because I have a button on this, I can do a Velcro just to make this one look different. So I'm going to pop off and grab my Velcro. Okay, so my Velcro dots are pretty big, so I just cut like a little piece off of them. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on here, and then also that won't take up a whole lot of space on the paper. I need to even them up again. Okay, now if I can get the plastic off, we'll be all good. There we go. So we can just fold that down. And that's how that one will close. Then we're not having the button in the way of the closure. So then we can just pull this up. With this being such a lightweight paper, you would just want to hold down on your paper as you're pulling your top up. But see, that's just kind of in the center, so it really doesn't take up a lot of space, so you can write around it. Okay, so that is our second one. Now for our last one, this one measures, let me see, 7 5/8 by 3.5. And then our flap is about 1.5. So I inked all around this one. So we'll go ahead and put this paper down. And then remember, if you don't glue it in, you have all of this space back here to journal on also. So we'll glue this one down, and then hopefully we'll put our flower on before I add the other papers. So when you cut your papers, just cut them so you have a border around it if you like the border showing. I like to see the border showing. All right, and then I'm going to add this flower, and I guess I didn't ink any around this flower. I don't want to ink too much, just highlight the edges a little bit. This one was kind of a cut off from like a bunch of flowers. So if you have any cut-offs, don't get rid of them because you can always find use for them somewhere. And then we're just going to glue this one right down here on the bottom. I think I'll just do a little at an angle. Maybe we should put that one on this side, seeing as how everything is on the other side. I think we'll just put that like that. And we can leave our leaves hang, or let our leaves hang over a little. And if you don't like the way this is cut, you can always cut these leaves off flat, or you can add something else down here. But we're just going to leave it like that. And then, so these papers here, each one you make a little bit bigger. The papers can be a little bit wider. So I'm just going to leave the little bit of space down here. I thought this was a fun project, and it's something a little bit different. Always looking for something a little different. And sometimes it can be a little different, but it's about the same. You just add a little twist to it. I think I'm up high enough on the camera, I hope. Okay, now we'll go ahead, make sure I have this the right way, and we'll add our lace up here. Now this one is bigger, so this lace could have been a little bit longer, but I don't want to take too much away from the paper. And being a mass make, you can pretty much use the same stuff because it's not going to go in the same book. So you're not going to have to worry about that. So you can just have everything all cut out in advance and all ready to go. Okay, so we're done with that. And again, like I said, you can decorate this too. Now this is just a piece of cut off, and the script is going sideways, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. I think most everyone has scraps, so you can find some use for them somewhere. Now we're just going to have this rose and this little thing of leaves right in the center. So I'm going to do the leafy things first, and I actually think these are like a spice or something. But I like the little leafy bush, so we're just going to use that with our rose. So we can have that like that. You can put all different things together and make it work good. And then we'll just angle that a little bit, like that. And then we'll just set this little gem in the center. It's kind of bright, but it'll work. It'll work okay. So we're just going to set that there. Okay. Then we're going to give this a whirl again. This time I'll make sure I cut it longer, and then I can kind of trim it. So we'll just go on the back, and about halfway, we'll just, and you can do lace or ribbon or anything. I thought the twine was different. Okay, so we'll turn that over. And I'll set this on here so it doesn't move around. And fumble fingers when it comes to doing this on the camera. This one is definitely longer. So there's that one. Now you're going to want to leave your ends a little bit longer so you have something to hold on to. Okay, so I had to go off for a minute. So we have this one all done. And while I was off, I went ahead and redid this one so it has the longer tie on it, so that looks better also. And then we have the one with our Velcro. So let me know down in the comments what you think. Did you like this project, and do you think you'll make some? So I hope everyone has a wonderful day and happy crafting. Come back and see me for my next video. Bye for now.